Environmental activist Greta Thunberg says climate justice cannot be achieved under the Marcos administration. Here's what we know. On Thursday, Thunberg, along with two fellow climate activists, sent a video message to progressive groups that held protests in commemoration of the martial law's 50th anniversary. In her message, Thunberg said the world cannot attain climate justice under fascist leaders, with the group noting that climate change is a fight for democracy. One of Thunberg's co-activists, Mitzi Tan, added that nothing has changed between Marcos, the dictator 50 years ago, and Marcos Jr. of today. Thunberg also expressed support for activists in the Philippines. She says their group stands in solidarity with martial law victims and defenders of people's democratic rights, as well as climate justice.
President Bongbong Marcos attended various bilateral meetings at the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Early tomorrow, Philippine time, he is set to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden. Marlene Alcaide with the story.
President Bongbong Marcos' working visit to America will be ending in a day. But before heading back to the Philippines, he gets a chance to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden in a bilateral meeting scheduled Thursday afternoon in New York time or early morning tomorrow in Philippine time. Since his arrival in the U.S., President Bongbong Marcos has been determined to have an audience with U.S. President Joe Biden, especially now that they are both in New York for the United Nations General Assembly. Press Secretary Trixie Cruz-Angeles described their expected meeting as a momentous event for both the Philippines and the U.S. She says this will be the two leaders' opportunity to discuss matters on investment, trade, and the 76 years of alliance between the two nations. The president earlier said that he wants to further strengthen the Philippines' relationship with the U.S., even adding that he could not imagine the future without the global superpower as our partner.
It is very clear to me in my vision for the way that the country will move forward that I cannot see the Philippines in the future without having the United States as a partner.
Ahead of his meeting with Biden, Marcos spent the entire fourth day of his trip meeting with several heads of states and companies. He first met with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who assured Marcos on Japan's commitment to support the Philippines' economic development towards the goal of becoming an upper-middle income country. The president also met with former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Their conversation centered on the peace process for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM, as well as other issues such as trade and food security. Marcos also spoke with World Bank President David Malpass and officials from the Global Food Corporation, Cargill. The chief executive also had a dialogue with U.S. ASEAN Business Council and U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Let us find new ways. Let us find new ways to partner. Let us find new ways to develop. Let us find new ways to strengthen this relationship between the United States, ASEAN, and the Philippines.
Tomorrow, Friday, will be the president's last day for his working visit here in America. Before leaving the U.S., he will also lead a Philippine economic briefing where he is set to encourage foreign investors and big companies in America to invest in the Philippines. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, We Are One News, New York.